Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Your life, remember, if the body can get sick, it can also get well. It's about living your potential. That's what this show's all about, because we all have potential. The question is, are we tapping into it? Are we living the lifestyle and the life that we were designed to live? We were all given a gift, and that's this life. Remember that the odds were against you being born, and you were born. That right there is amazing, and that right there is a gift, and that's what sets you apart from everything, is that you were given this gift of life. So what are you doing with the life you've been given? It's about reaching your potential. It's about getting to the next level. It's about making an impact with your health and with your life. 888-283-7272 is the phone number. Lines are open. You can give us a call. And don't forget, go to the website, AsaRx.com, and you can send us an email. We'll make it part of the show. Or if you want me to answer in private, I'll be glad to do that as well. Whatever you prefer, we're here for you. So whatever you're struggling with, we want to talk about it. We've got providers that can help you all around the country, no matter where you are. We've got a provider that can dig their heels in with you, whatever you're struggling with, whatever your condition is, and handle it the way that we talk about here on the show. Let's talk about hip pain a little bit. I want to kick off with that and start into that a little bit, because there's 5 common causes of hip pain, specifically in women. And hip pain can result from wear and tear, overuse, and a few other causes. So one couple types of chronic hip pain that we look at can see is because it has a lot of different causes. The diagnosis first, though, you got to figure out if it's your hip. So the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons said hip pain is often felt in the groin or outside the hip, directly where the hip joint ball and socket is located. So that's where you kind of feel that. And the causes of hip pain in women can be different. When a female patient comes to see most doctors complain of hip pain, they consider the patient's age, build, and activity level. If the patient's a thin 20-year-old runner or a heavy sedentary 80-year-old grandmother, there's a lot of the possibilities are very different. So you have to start thinking differently depending on what the conditions are. Arthritis can be the first thought. Chronic hip pain in women is often due to arthritis, particularly osteoarthritis, which is the wear and tear that affects people as they age. The ball and socket joint starts to wear and tear out. So arthritis pain is often felt in the front of your thigh or in the groin because of the stiffness and the swelling inside that joint. That's where you get a lot of the pain. Hip fractures are another one. You got to think about that. Now, that comes with age, right? So the 20-year-old runner is probably not going to have that kind of condition. But, nevertheless, hip fractures are a big deal. And anyone with osteoporosis, which is decreased bone density, right? The bone's not as thick and hard as it needs to be. Symptoms of a hip fracture include pain when you straighten, lift, or stand on your leg. And also, the toes on your injured side will appear to turn outward, a sign that can aid your doctor's preliminary diagnosis. So you'll kind of have the toes and the foot will flare out to the side. Hip fractures are a pretty big deal. Okay, tendonitis and bursitis, these are other ones that are not as impactful, but they still don't feel great. So many tendons around the hip connect to the muscles in the joint, and these tendons can easily become inflamed if you overuse them or participate in strenuous activities. One of the most common causes of tendonitis in the hip joint, especially with runners, is IT band syndrome. Iliotibial band is a thick span of tissue that runs from the outer rim of the pelvis to the inside of your knee. Another cause of the hip pain in women is bursitis. So if you deal with hip pain at all, there's a lot of reasons why, and there's a lot of ways to take care of it. So we're talking about another area too, and this mimics hip pain, which is really, really interesting, but it's called hernia. And if you've ever heard of a hernia, it's where there's of course, in the groin area, there's a femoral and inguinal hernia. These are always referred to as sports hernias. They can cause anterior frontal hip pain in women and men, by the way. Pregnant women can be susceptible to the inguinal hernias because of the added pressure on the wall of their abdomen. Now, gynecological and back issues are another big issue. Hip pain in women can have a lot of gynecological issues. And depending on your age and other health issues, the pain in your hip could be coming from some other system. Endometriosis is another one. Now, with the endometriosis, which the uterus lining grows somewhere else, can cause pelvic tenderness, which some women describe as hip pain. Pain from the back and the spine can also be felt around the buttocks and the hip. Now, sciatica, which is a big, big deal. This one hurts. This is one that you need to watch out for. But sciatica is a pinched nerve, typically affects one side of the body and can cause pain in the back of the right or left hip, rather. So that one is quite the challenge, and we see that a lot, especially in clinical practice. Treatment for the hip pain depends on the diagnosis. So it's all about the diagnosis. Remember, it's inflammatory in nature. It's wear and tear unless there's some kind of injury. But excessive weight, the obesity issue we have right now, 70% of Americans are overweight, 40% are obese. Like, it's a crisis. It's beyond a crisis. As long as I've been doing this show, I'm amazed at the fact that the obesity rates have increased. Like, I thought for sure, as much as we know and as much as we're educating between television and radio and internet, like, we would all kind of get it and get excited and really change our health and lifestyle choices, but we're just getting fatter. It's crazy. Nevertheless, I'm on a mission. I want to see people live their potential. So that's why we're here, okay? Even if people still struggle, that's why we're here. You need a voice that can help carry you through all this. Really makes a difference. 888-283-7272 is the number. Lines are open. You can give us a call or go to AsaRx.com. Visit us at the website, and we can help you. Let's jump on the phones here. I see you waiting for me. Let's go to Ava. Hi, Ava.
I am 46 years old, and over the past year and a half, it's gotten to where I am just as tired when I wake up as when I have gone to sleep. I usually kind of bottom out around 4 o'clock each day, and I'm getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, so I was concerned.
Yeah, the sleep issue, it's important. I mean, regardless of what anybody tells you, it's super, super important. You have to get sleep. And if you're not, and you're not getting the level of sleep that you feel like you need, if you're not getting in that deep REM stage of sleep, and you know when you are, I mean, if you're not dreaming at all, you're not getting into a very deep stage of sleep. So it's okay if you don't remember your dreams like vividly, but you kind of know if you dream or not. So if you're not hitting that stage, yeah, your body's not getting into a real deep stage of sleep. So I would encourage you, first and foremost, to look and see if you have any neurotransmitter, which are the brain chemicals, instability there. Because a lot of times with sleep, what you find is that it can be mineral deficiencies. Like, it could be something like calcium or potassium or magnesium, which is pretty common, by the way. But it also could be something neurotransmitter related. So if you just find that it's just imbalanced and you can't get there, that's probably what it is. The brain chemistry, like serotonin levels, even GABA, when those levels are off even a little bit, it can cause sleep disturbances. So check out your routine. Like, make sure you've got a good, solid routine every day, that you're not sporadic in the way that you go to bed at night, that you've got a good sleep hygiene, as we call it, and that you've got a good routine going each day. That's the first thing you got to check. Do that for like a week, and then you can let us know. I get the testing done, though, for the neurotransmitters. If you can't find a doctor to do that, let our provider team know, our lifestyle providers. They're all around the country. They can help you. Okay? But we're here no matter what. But sleep is a big deal, and I'm glad you reached out to us, okay? We'll talk soon. 888-283-7272. We'll be right back. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Welcome back to the show, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. So glad you're with us. Go to the website, go to AsaRx.com. What about pain management? So pain management's a big deal. Like, people that struggle with pain, deal with pain, it's a big deal. And I really want to jump in for just a moment and talk about it, because if you do pain management, it can be a highly challenging situation to be on these medications. But what about doing pain management without drugs? Have you ever thought about that? You're probably going, no. So pain management without drugs is possible. So when it comes to this and you're looking at chronic pain, what can you do? Well, when chronic pain sets in, people immediately look for their medicine cabinet or rush to the drugstore, because the medication usually offers temporary pain management relief. We don't want pain. Like, the two things human beings we avoid pain, but we create change in our lives due to one of two things: either pain, massive pain, or pleasure. And usually pain and fear will push us further into change than the latter. But nonetheless, I mean, that's how we're wired, and that's how our brains work, and that's how our bodies work. So when you're talking about pain management and getting relief from pain, of course we go to medicine, because we don't want to hurt. Like, that's pretty simple, right? So acupuncture, there's some alternatives in pain management that I hope you'll consider. So if you struggle with pain management, or if you struggle with pain and you're in pain management, right? look at some of these alternatives because they're really, really good. I'm excited about them. Number one is acupuncture. It's the oldest pain management technique in the world, Chinese practice of acupuncture. So it uses tiny needles placed in specific joints along the body to help alleviate chronic pain. And the other pain management that's really good, and by the way, a lot of insurance companies now are paying for acupuncture and they're covering it with insurance. So that's a super important thing to understand because, I mean, a lot of people, I think even Medicare has considered it. I don't know if it's completely gone that route yet, but I know it was considered. So pain management, along with acupuncture, is massage therapy. And therapeutic massage, extremely beneficial. So many good techniques, sports massage and deep tissue. But it offers a lot of benefits with chronic pain management. The deep tissue massage and some of the gentle techniques can help relax muscles, sore tissues, and ease chronic pain. One study in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that benefits of massage easing lower back pain for about 6 months or longer. It really does. It makes a big difference. Another one is physical therapy. So physical therapy teaches you how to gently move and stretch your muscles and work your joints to strengthen them, which can help alleviate pain. Unlike medication, physical therapy can actually help treat the underlying source of your pain, whether it's arthritis or another condition that can help. Physical therapy can also include water therapy, which is like working the muscles in the pool or whirlpool. And physical therapy also includes regular exercise and working with pain specialists trained in physical therapy and can teach you the right way to exercise or alleviate pain, not increase it. So in a recent article in the Annals of Internal Medicine, it found that doing home exercises taught by physical therapists was more helpful for neck pain than actual drugs. Think about that. That's pretty cool. Hot and cold therapy is another big one. You're seeing the cryotherapy clinics now. Have you seen those? So cryotherapy is where it's really, really cold and the sub-zero temperatures, not sub-zero, but it's really, really cold. These low temperatures of the body, with what it does to the body, helps from recovery. So, but the heat and contrasted with the cold, hot and cold therapy can help quite a bit. And so the heat therapy boosts the blood flow in areas of the body due to pain due to inflammation, and it allows muscles to relax. So you can apply a heating pad or a heat wrap and then relax in a hot bath for pain management. Can soothe everything, really. The cold therapy, though, can be useful for pain management. It slows blood flow to a painful joint, so the swelling's reduced and the nerves aren't able to send messages as quickly for pain. So you can apply a cold pack or even do the cryotherapy. So we're talking about pain management, doing it naturally. You listen to the AsaRx experience. Give us a call, 888-283-7272 to join in the show, or go to the website, go to AsaRx.com. So another one for pain management, we're talking about hot and cold therapy. We've talked about acupuncture. We've talked about massage therapy and physical therapy. But what about therapy for the mind? So anxiety, stress, and depression can all aggravate the pain cycle in the body. So it's important not to ignore the emotional side of your pain. So cognitive behavioral therapy, which can teach you how to manage thoughts and feelings of your body's physical response, can effectively manage chronic pain. Biofeedback is another method that teaches you how to control your body's reactions to pain. So while hypnosis and deep tissue relaxation, they can help with pain management as well. Now, TENS treatment is another one. So electrically stimulating the area where the pain is localized, you can actually help alleviate it. So the electrical nerve stimulation, or a TENS unit, which has been used forever in medicine, but it really works, is the electrical stimulation technique most often used in pain management. It's a small device attached to the skin, and it sends electrical impulses to the painful area. Helps to reduce the pain. But the bottom line is with all these, I mean, you got to find what works for you. At the end of the day, if you've been taking a lot of medications, I hope you'll consider some of these, because it's really, that whole pain management cycle with meds, I mean, I get it. People love it. They get addicted to it, but it's a bad cycle. Like, the pain meds are long-term for your health and your brain and your mind and your body. It's just not a good cycle. So if you can come out with a new way of doing this, whether it's acupuncture, massage therapy, physical therapy, hot, cold therapy, TENS unit, whatever you have to do, like, just pick something. But maybe look at some of these natural options as alternatives to be able to help you along the way. 888-283-7272. Visit us online. Go to AsaRx.com. We want to see you live your potential. Like, that is what this thing is all about. If you haven't checked out the podcast is out every single day, anywhere that you can find the outlets: iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, all of those, Pandora. You can check it out and check out our podcast. and all the latest episodes. Of course, you know, the radio show here goes to the podcast. That's how you can catch the previous episodes of that. Coming up, we've got more questions about your health. And can marijuana help my diabetes? That's a hot topic right now. Now we're getting into it, nitty gritty right there. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the AsaRx Experience. Are you ready to chow? It's time for Keto Chow. When it comes to eating healthy, the keto diet has become one of the nutrition leaders in optimizing health, losing unwanted weight, and reaching your health and wellness goals. No extravagant cooking, no long kitchen cleanup, and most importantly, especially for me, it's convenient. Just put quality Keto Chow powder in a bottle, add some heavy whipping cream or your favorite fat, a little water, and boom, shake it up and you're ready to chow. Keto Chow tastes amazing. So make Keto Chow easy for you and your family today with Keto Chow. Let's go chow. Visit Keto Chow online at ketochow.xyz. That's ketochow.xyz.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Welcome back to the show, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. So glad you're with us. This show is all about helping you live your potential. I'm Asa, your host. Good to be with you as always. So we're going to dive in. I'm just going to go ahead and deep dive in to this topic that no one wants to talk about, right? So, and when you say it, everybody freaks out because it's been taboo for so long. But I'm talking about marijuana in medicine. And all my conservative folks are like, don't talk about the marijuana. Don't talk about the CBD. Don't talk about. Yeah, it's here. So many states have adopted it. It's here and it's a plant. So let's jump into it. Okay. Now, I've never been a marijuana smoker. I've never been into it. I mean, even in my day of youth, right, running around college and all that, I was just never a pot guy. Just never was. It's never my thing. So now that it's here in medicine and they've got studies behind it and we're really diving into this thing, I want to get into some of it because I think we need to know. It's one thing just having an opinion about what we think, but it's another thing to jump into the research and look at it. So research and the risk, and so we're talking about marijuana and can it help diabetes? Because there's a lot of things that we know it can help, but what about diabetes? I think this is really interesting. Research is now on the benefits of medical marijuana for people with diabetes is preliminary. They're doing new studies on it. But research for marijuana for medicinal purposes is limited, and the FDA has not approved the drug as a standard of care. 29 states and Washington, D.C., have legalized medical marijuana. All right, 29 states. That's a lot. And that legalization has passed at a time when some research, which has mostly been observational and conducted by animals, links marijuana use to improved symptoms and outcomes, even associated with conditions like HIV, multiple sclerosis, chronic pain, and mental disorders. But what do researchers say about using marijuana to help prevent diabetes? Well, can cannabis really help prevent diabetes? That's the question. So the marijuana plant contains chemicals called cannabinoids. Okay, and they have a wide range of effects, including increased appetite and diminished pain and inflammation. That'll sound great, but really, what's the deal, right? So even with some of the preliminary research that suggests that medical marijuana may help improve glucose control and insulin resistance, doctors across the board aren't that fast to recommend medical marijuana for diabetes prevention. So that's because most of the studies have really not met the gold standard of what we use in the studies. So medical marijuana hasn't been analyzed in a large randomized controlled study in which human subjects with type 2 diabetes actually used it. So such studies reduce the risk of bias in study authors and provide the most reliable evidence for what we have with what we call a cause and effect relationship between two factors. So in this case, it'd be medical marijuana and diabetes. So we just have a correlative link right now. But with that being said, they did a study in the American Journal of Medicine, and they have some observational clues about how cannabis can affect diabetes, which I think is pretty cool. So they looked at nearly 600 adult men and women currently using marijuana, and about 2,000 had used it in the past after fasting overnight. Their blood drawn were screened for other health factors like high blood pressure, body mass index, and waist circumference compared With those participants who had never used marijuana, the people who used the marijuana had a 17% lower fasting insulin level and glucose level. They also tended to have smaller waistlines, so the level of obesity was down. Interesting. Their BMI was better. So the results from the latter study seem to support the conclusion that observational cross-sectional studies that were published about this in the British Medical Journal, that they were saying that about 11,000 participants were in this one. And they theorized that the anti-inflammatory properties of the cannabinoids may have led to the improved health outcomes of the participants. See, the whole may have thing, may have, might have, could be. But the fact that they're discussing it, I think, is great, because could it be that it helps? I mean, nothing's going to help diabetes more than a healthy lifestyle. Like, you can't go smoke pot and eat donuts and get rid of diabetes. Like, let's just call it what it is. Okay. Like, that's not where we're going in this conversation. But the fact that it has some chemicals in it that can be beneficial for diabetes, I think is worth discussing, and it's worth talking about. So can it help control diabetes? That's a different topic. So studies investigating marijuana as diabetes prevention tool have not been conclusive. One study suggests the drug may be used to help relieve diabetes symptoms, which can be kind of cool, like diabetic neuropathy. This was in the Journal of Pain. So diabetic neuropathy, or painful nerve damage due to chronic high blood sugar, which may lessen the discomfort of inhaling marijuana. So cannabinoid receptors located in the nervous system across the spinal cord and brain appear to work on multiple planes to relieve pain, including decreasing the excitability of receptors, reducing transmission of pain signals to the brain, and inhibiting discomfort down the spinal cord. You're listening to the AsaRx Experience. If you're just joining in now, you can give us a call, 888-283-7272, to join the show. And if you just want us to answer in private, we will. You can go to the website, asarx.com. But we're talking right now about marijuana and can it help diabetes? Because I think it's an interesting conversation, just to say the least, about how marijuana can help any condition for that matter. I think we just hear marijuana and we all freak out. And it's like, oh no, but you'll take any of these other drugs that are so full of side effects. And then we look at marijuana, which I'm not like some marijuana fan, trust me. I just think it's interesting that we're now having these conversations and that 29 states have accepted it. Like, it's just an interesting time that in my lifetime I never thought I would see. So it's cool that we're having these conversations, because it does have benefits, and we're seeing that. And I think that when you talk about, I mean, it is natural, so it's a plant. So anytime we're dealing with any kind of something somewhat natural, it's pretty cool to see the way God designed it. Now, the whole getting high thing, that's a whole different topic. But the benefits and the medicinal benefits that can come from the cannabis is pretty strong. The THC is a whole different topic. But the CBD portion, the oil that we're now seeing and using, that one is really powerful. So the barriers, just so you know, there's barriers to this research. And again, that's too technical, but I want to get into what a lot of the clinicians are saying. So clinicians agree that more data is needed, which is cool. The research is in the infancy. We all get that. But as far as the marijuana medically using medicinally to improve measures of metabolism for diabetes, there's a lot more unknowns than knowns. And it's way too early to make a recommendation for using cannabis for diabetes. So Troy Donahue, he's a physician, an associate professor right down the street from us in endocrinology and diabetes at the University of Florida. Although I'm a Seminole, go Noles. He studied the effects of marijuana use following bariatric surgery. So Donahue was previously at the University of Colorado in Denver, where he saw many patients with diabetes and obesity who use cannabis recreationally or medicinally for anxiety, sleep, or pain control. He notes that one thing clinicians agree on is that strains of marijuana that produce a feeling of highness, the THC, many of which are recreational, would not be advisable for people with diabetes because they tend to increase appetite. Yeah, for sure. So for people with diabetes, strict diet and weight management, it's crucial to help regulate blood sugar levels and increase insulin sensitivity. So what do doctors know? They know behavior changes like healthy diet and more physical activity, as well as approved medications for weight loss and diabetes, have been proven to halt the development and progression of the disease. So we know the risk and benefits, he says, and that makes the approaches far more preferable than medical marijuana for physicians to recommend. So what are the next steps? You know, one of the things they say, although medical marijuana, the legislation, that's kind of a big deal, it's getting passed in more states. The traditional physicians who rely on research and official U.S. medical guidelines, they're really waiting on the studies. So even though it's approved, doesn't mean your doctor's going to be cool with it. And a lot of guys and gals are jumping on the marketing bandwagon, and you'll just be an all pot clinic, right? So you go in and get your medical card and get all the marijuana you want. There's a lot of that going on. Just be careful with that. I get business and I get marketing. I just don't know that I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, that's capitalizing in a way. And I mean, just like the pain management clinics, which I think do a lot of good, by the way. Well-run pain management clinics that are not there, as a glorified drug, pushing mill, which they busted a lot of those recently. But the really good pain management clinics that are doing great, they screen very well, and they don't just hand out pills to everybody. I really have so much respect for that because a lot of people are in pain. And if that's the case for a medical marijuana clinic, that's great. But if it's just solely for working it for profit, not cool. So just do your research. But I think it's worth talking about that more conditions are being talked about, like diabetes, for what medical marijuana can do and how it can benefit, and the different parts of it that can really make a difference. So you gotta respect that we're seeing that more and more. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Go to AsaRx.com. That's AsaRx.com. If you haven't checked out the podcast, please do. You can look up at any of the outlets, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Pandora, Spotify, any of those. Look up AsaRx Experience and you'll find it. Of course, we get the radio shows from the day we post there, plus original content, interviews, celebrity interviews that you don't want to miss. All of that there is at the podcast. Love to have you part of that. Coming up, more questions about your health. And I'm going to jump in and hit on a couple of things you don't want to miss, especially you guys. I've got some things content-wise that's all about men's health. Did you know that you can listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Triple 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. So glad you're with us. Check us out on the web. Go to AsaRx.com. That's AsaRx.com. Listen, this show's all about helping you live your potential. I don't care who you are, where you come from. Doesn't matter your color. Doesn't matter your race. Doesn't matter your age. You have an amazing gift inside of you. And you are designed to do something great in this world. You have a potential. And I would beg to say that you have not even reached that potential, not even scratched the surface of who you were designed to be, that you've been stuck in a rut for a long time and doing the wrong path and following the wrong path of who you were designed to be. So it's time to make an about face. It's time to really get into a position where you can thrive. It's time to really get into a place where you can go in the right direction and head the right way and be who you were designed to be. That's what we want to see here on the show. And that's what you were designed to be. That's what we want to see for you more than anything else. So give us a call, 888-283-7272. At the website, I want you to go there, get a free copy of my book, and dive into it, because it will take you from where you are to where you need to be in your health. It will take you from A to Z in your health. And it will make a humongous difference. Yes, I said humongous difference in the way you live and everything about your life. It will take you literally from really, really not so great habits to great habits. It will take you out of health challenges into great health. It will, if you're already super healthy, it'll take you to the next level of healthy. Like it'll take you all the way around. So I encourage you to go there and check it out. Let's get on the phones and go to Alex. Hi, Alex.
I can't say this word. It's fibromyalgia. I know that's not right, but you know what I'm talking about. I just hurt and ache and burn and tingle, and I'd like to know what would be good for this. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, darling. And let me help you on that. So fibromyalgia is one of those conditions that some doctors think it's a legit diagnosis, and it is a legit diagnosis. And some say it's not. Some say it's more mental than anything. And it's where the soft tissue, muscles for that matter, and the soft tissue of the body ache and they hurt. So, for example, you come up to somebody that says they that have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and they just ache. You grab their arm, and they just freak out. You grab their shoulder, and they're like, ah, they scream because it hurts. And there's reasons for that. The pain receptors and the inflammation in the body is elevated. But then also you got low brain chemistry. A lot of times there's a significant correlation with low serotonin levels in the brain and the achiness that goes on with fibromyalgia and the pain, the chronic pain, and the consistent pain. So all that can play a big role. So all that to say, one of the things you've got to look at is you really want to focus on cutting out inflammation in the body, okay? So if you deal with that sort of pain, you got to look at your diet. If you're eating all kinds of foods and not really concerned about your diet, you probably got a lot of inflammation in the gut. If you got a lot of inflammation in the gut, you got a lot of inflammation in the body, period. That's just the way it goes. Now, the other piece to look at is your brain. So if you've ever taken antidepressants for anything, if you've ever gone that route of any kind of brain chemistry related issue or drugs or whatever, then that can play a role in this deal. It can play a big one, especially serotonin. Serotonin can play a big one and really be a game changer in it. So that's why somebody that has fibromyalgia, one of the first line treatments in medicine is putting that person on an antidepressant. And 90% of the time, a lot of the symptoms and pain goes away. It's like, what's up with that? Well, what's up with that is that the serotonin levels were low and they fixed that, and then the pain goes away and you had a neurotransmitter issue. It wasn't a pain issue. It's just how the body was exhibiting it. So a lot of things you can do to raise serotonin levels. First, though, you got to figure out, you got to get tested, okay? You need to get tested with your neurotransmitters, figure out which one's low, which one's high, which one needs to be stabilized, which ones are doing great, because you could eat certain foods that can affect one and mess up the other. You could build up one and have another one drop. So there's a lot of things you've got to do to make sure that you're doing the right things when it comes to getting the right nutrition for the body. And the testing is so important. So you can eat certain foods for serotonin, like protein-rich foods, like turkey is amazing. And then, of course, your meats, like red meat, although I'm not a big fan of doing that all the time, but the red meat is really, really good for brain chemistry. It's good for depression. You can definitely get in certain vitamins and minerals. Pyridoxal 5-phosphate is great. Magnesium is really good, as well as your omega-3 fatty acids. And also, don't forget vitamin B3. B3 is big as well for the brain chemistry and building up serotonin levels. There's a lot you can do to make that happen. So I would encourage you in this challenge that you're facing, get your diet right, okay, doing the anti-inflammatory based diet, get the eating right, because the inflammation's got to go down, period. And then secondly, as you're doing that, get testing done for your neurotransmitters so you know exactly which one it is. And then there's a nutritional protocol. If you need that, just let us know. Get with one of our healthy providers that are in your area. They're all over the country, so we can get you with a provider that can help you figure out exactly what's going on inside the system for you. And we can build a good game plan from there. So that is the ultimate key, really, when it comes down to it. Because the challenge is, in something like this, is to get everything balanced. And it's all about the research. It's about the tests. It's about knowing what's there and what's not there. 888-283-7272. We've got Samantha that sent an email in. She said she's from Washington, D.C. and says, I've been struggling heavily with low energy levels. I get up in the morning and I'm tired and I go to bed really awake. What is that? Okay, that is classic symptoms of adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue is one of those that we don't talk a lot about in healthcare and in medicine, but it is a real condition. And it's where the adrenal glands, which are the little stress glands that sit above the kidneys, that produce a hormone called cortisol. They also produce norepinephrine and epinephrine. But when cortisol is in DHEA, when they're off, then your energy levels are going to be off. And the more tired, as we call it, or fatigued the adrenals are, the less the body's going to work at its peak level. So getting some testing done for the adrenals is really important, but then there's also a lot of herbal remedies that can help, and a certain specific dietary plan, which I've got a whole webinar on that at the website, that will help you. Puts another hour in the charts. I want to thank our producers, Derek Allen, Mr. Fig, and John Garrison, our chief engineer. Go tell one person something you learned on the show. Together, we can transform the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the show that helps you live your potential. This is AsaRx Experience.
Do you know you can listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the AsaRx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.
Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. Let's talk about your health and your life. Remember, if the body can get sick, it can also get well. That's the hope we have each and every day here on the show. If you're looking at ways to boost your exercise level, here are some helpful tips. Of course, we all get excited when we watch athletes perform at their high levels of competition. That's one of the reasons we love sports, to be able to see people do the things that maybe we can't do. So the first step is always, experts recommend, if you want to get started in some kind of athletic program, want to play some new sports, or maybe get inside of an exercise routine, go to your doctor first, make sure that everything's checking out okay? Because remember, you can't go from the couch to running a 5K, right? There's a process that goes to that. So if your muscles have atrophied, use it or lose it, there's certain things that can happen. Injuries can happen. A lot of people just think they can go out and play football and they haven't played in 10 years. So you can't really do that. Go out and cut, you're going to tear a knee or something, or ankle or something like that. So you got to be really, really careful. Get cleared by your doctor. Make sure that you're fit and can do well, and then get out and make it happen. So one of the big keys for that is really to get and get that physician to check you out. Now, maybe you get a personal trainer to work with you, start exercising, get into a group class or something to get your body moving and get used to what you haven't done in a long time. I'm a big fan of group exercise. The reason is because so many people, when it comes to exercise, they struggle. And again, you're going to be more successful. I believe it's almost 90% of people that are in a group setting or at least have a partner when it comes to exercise are successful. So it raises your rate tremendously to keep your goals where they need to be and head in the right direction. So that's one thing, first and foremost, that you want to shoot for. The other thing, too, is develop a good plan. You want to encourage a full body workout of some sort. So you want to build up your core, which are your abdominals, your lower back, and create the strength in the middle of the section. When your core is strong, the body becomes strong. And, of course, you want to build good cardiovascular health to affect your heart and have good blood flow. There's a lot of different ways. So getting someone that's an expert, whether it's a personal trainer, lifestyle coach, someone that can help you along in that process will make a big difference toward reaching your goals. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Check us out on the web. So many people are struggling today with their health and really don't know where to turn. I want to encourage you, go to our website. Our team members are always standing by to help you find maybe a lifestyle provider in your area, or our new In Shape program helps you lose weight, feel better, have more energy. You can check that out at the website. Look for In Shape, and that's, of course, what we all want to do. When I was younger, my dad used to say, it's time to get in shape for football, or the coaches would say it's time to get in shape for the season. Now we're in America, and we see a rate of 65% of Americans being overweight. It's time to get in shape, America. It is. We have to. We have to make a change with where we're headed. We can't stay in the same place doing the same things over and over and over again. We have to create some radical new changes so we can have some radical results with our health, with our life, and get in direction that we can thrive again. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard, but it needs to be consistent so we can teach that not only for ourselves to make ourselves better, but for our kids and the next generation so that it doesn't continue. Because really, the challenge we have with obesity in America right now is a crisis. It's not just something that's to kind of sweep under the rug. It's one of the major reasons that we're seeing the health challenges that we're seeing today and the statistics. It's amazing. So if we can begin to create new modifications, new lifestyle choices, and really get ourselves to restructure the way we think, we can make a massive impact in the way we live our lives. 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Joyce, you're with us on the phones. How can I help?
I had a CAT scan done, and they found a ascending aorta, mild aneurysmal to 3.9 centimeters, and there's a mild prominence of the left vertical and left atrium with coronary calcifications. So they're going to send me for echocardiography, but I wanted to say about this.
When you have a potential for an aneurysm like that, and you're dealing with the aorta, there's there's some serious concern. That's why they're doing further testing and they're looking at every angle. So in this case, you want to follow their protocols 100%. That's just my opinion, okay? And because in this case, that can turn into a real serious condition. The other thing to think about, which is I'm assuming why you're calling, is what can you do, right? Because we all want to be proactive. We don't want to just lay there and do nothing. And what brought you into this place, I'd have to have cameras and watch you for the last 10 years. Remember, health deteriorates in roughly 10-year increments. So we all think that our health gets really, really bad overnight. It doesn't, or in 6 months. It typically does not. It takes time to build. And a matter of fact, 80% of the body breaks down before we ever get our first symptoms. So the body's breaking down for years before we ever get a symptom and are dealing with anything. So one of the keys that you want to look at more than anything is you want to have a total piece about creating new lifestyle choices for yourself. I mean, regardless of what's caused this, what can you do now? Well, we know that a heart-healthy diet is something that you would definitely want to focus on, building up with the right kind of protein sources, lean quality protein sources, chicken, fish, beef, or eggs, low glycemic carbohydrates in the form of fruits and vegetables, and then good healthy fats, your almonds, your walnuts, your cashews, your avocados. Getting a good balance in the foods that you eat will make a big difference in your overall health. So I would encourage you with that, getting, of course, the Mediterranean diet. We've done research on that for years and years, and we know that those healthy fats really can come in and make an impact. And so if you get the right kind of foods coming in, of course, you're going to get the right kind of results. And that's what you want to shoot for. So I would do that. And, of course, your exercise, depending on, of course, again, they need to figure out, they being your medical team, need to figure out exactly where things are with your health and what the outcome is and what your liabilities are. So they got to be really careful in what they let you do. So again, on exercise, you want to follow their guidance and their guidelines. But from an eating perspective, whether you get a nutritionist or a lifestyle coach or someone that can walk with you in this process, those are changes that you can make. And I'm sure your cardiologist that's working with you is going to tell you the same thing. I mean, they're going to encourage that. So building up the right kind of foods to get the body working the way it needs to. Remember, even though our body kind of works in long increments, the cells are turning over in our body every 90 to 120 days. So each day old cells are dying off, new cells are forming. We're getting a brand new body all the time. So it's pretty amazing on how you can make a radical impact in your health just by modifying some of your lifestyle choices. So a lot of times, forget about the past. It doesn't matter. Focus on today. That's what you can do. And your best days definitely can still be ahead. So get with the medical team, get with someone to work on your diet, nutrition, and lifestyle, and that'll be a great start. 888-283-7272. Check us out on the web. Coming up, we're going to jump in and grab some more calls, also some social media with some emails. We'll be right back. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Check us out on the web. Lawrence in Grand Rapids, Michigan says, I have a torn ACL and I go in for surgery next week. What are some good rehab ideas for after that? Well, ACL is no joke. It's the surgery is very good now, and the surgeons that are some world-renowned surgeons here in the United States that perform that and get athletes back on the field where that used to be a career-ending injury. Pretty amazing. But one of the things, go through all the rehab. It's very easy to get started with a PT, and halfway through you think, well, I'm good. I'm feeling good, feeling strong, I'm good. Don't think that. Go all the way through, follow your entire routine with them, and don't stop. Even if it seems like it's monotonous and it means nothing, go all the way through it. It really does make a difference on the other side, how well the scar tissue diminishes. That is one of the really good focus. Just stick with the PT. Now, I'll tell you something that can be very beneficial if they don't use this is a cold laser or a low-level laser. Now, this is new. They've been out for a little bit of time. A lot of athletic trainers, orthopedic surgeons, and PTs are using these. Chiropractic physicians using them as well and getting great results. Reduction of the scar tissue, increase of your recovery time, pretty amazing. So I would encourage you in that regard to get started and look for someone that has the laser so that your recovery time can be down and your strengthening and all can be up. That's just a major key in all of this, especially for getting back to where you need to be. And also, don't forget that your nutrition matters. Good omega-3 fatty acids. Make sure to get plenty of lean quality protein sources, and also look at vitamin D. Vitamin D is a real key in the recovery process through this, and a lot of minerals too. Boron, magnesium, potassium. Those are all beneficial to get your body to recover in the way that it needs to. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Carl, you're next with us, my friend. How can I help?
I have a skin problem. I was wanting to inquire about what to use on it. Maybe ringworm and breakout on my face. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay. When you see something like that, when you think skin, okay, we all automatically think what's growing on my skin or what is that? But when you think skin, always think, okay, if it's my skin, it's coming from my gut. So our gut health typically affects the skin in that way. So our health really does matter when it's happening with our overall skin, meaning that when you look at your skin and your gut for the right kind of bacteria being in the digestive tract, it really does matter. So a lot of times if you take antibiotics or you drink a lot of chlorinated water, tap water, it can strip the body of the good bacteria. That happens, it can start causing little skin eruptions and those sorts of things. So it looks like eczema sometimes, but you can get the bacteria right and then look at getting omega-3 fatty acids correctly in the body, getting what you need, building the body levels up that way, and that can make an incredible difference in your overall health. But I would look at that for sure. And again, you can put the ointments and the creams on it to cut down on the discomfort. Your dermatologist can kind of guide you in that process. But a lot of times, and not every time, but a lot of times it comes from the gut health. If you get the gut health cleaned up, cut out food allergies and that sort of thing, the skin typically can resolve with a lot of those type issues. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Check us out on the web. Let's go to Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Calling to get tips on my blood pressure and how to get it to go down pretty quickly.
Okay. Blood pressure, just a rule of thumb for it, and something to think about. There are some genetic factors to it, but a lot of it is our lifestyle. And when you look at your eating habits, your lifestyle habits, stress is a big piece of this. And when you put all those together, that's when you can really get in and figure out where your blood pressure is, because that's why so many thin people have high blood pressure. You think, well, they're not overweight. What's the deal? A lot of it's diet. A lot of it's not enough exercise. And the body's not getting what it needs. I mean, there's so many of those variables and factors that you have to look at. So I would encourage you really in this regard just to take a look at your overall habits. Now, rebounding is very good. So jumping up and down in a mini trampoline, they've done numerous studies on that, 5 minutes a day to 20 minutes a day. Walking outside is your next best one because it's just getting the body moving, staying active. All of that helps. So to get the body and just continually be in motion, if it's 10, 15 minutes a day, it doesn't have to be a lot, but it also needs to be vigorous. It doesn't need to be some lollygag walk with your dog. Like people think I walk my dog so I exercise. No, you don't. You're not sweating walking the dog. So whenever you walk, you do it with intensity. You do it with if you're going to take 10 minutes to exercise, you go for it, you work hard, and you make an effort. So that counts as exercise. Just a casual walk does not count as exercise. You have to go for it and push yourself. And then that'll make a tremendous difference. So with blood pressure, we know that helps. Salt intake, it makes a difference. You want to keep it at about 1,500 milligrams a day. That is the typical guideline that is out now. So I would focus on that, keep those numbers in the right range, and you should do very, very well. But that's the big key. I mean, I would look at that, and then your eating habits. Keep those the basics. Keep the inflammation down. Good fats, moderate carbohydrates, low glycemic fruits and vegetables, and then your healthy proteins, lean proteins, chicken, fish, beef, eggs. All the anti-inflammatory basics that we teach on the show is very, very helpful in this regard. Because, I mean, blood pressure, for the most part, it's about creating consistent good habits to combat the not-so-good habits that you had in the past. And that's how you win. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. If you haven't found a lifestyle provider, check us out. Go to the website. Our lifestyle providers, healthcare providers in your area that believe the same way we do, all the nutrition and lifestyle-based care that we talk about to be able to help you go to that next level with your health and with your life. And on this show, that's what we want to help you do, is to win because you can. And the reality is, if you haven't checked out our app, so many people call us and they want to know, how can I catch the show? I missed it. I missed you say that when you said this. The app is out. It's in the App Store. And you can listen to the show from the day before all the way until we go live the next day. It's a great tool to use to stay connected. We'll be right back. Are you ready to chow? It's time for Keto Chow. When it comes to eating healthy, the keto diet has become one of the nutrition leaders in optimizing health, losing unwanted weight, and reaching your health and wellness goals. No extravagant cooking, no long kitchen cleanup, and most importantly, especially for me, it's convenient. Just put quality Keto Chow powder in a bottle, add some heavy whipping cream or your favorite fat, a little water, and boom, shake it up and you're ready to chow. Keto Chow tastes amazing. So make Keto Chow easy for you and your family today with Keto Chow. Let's go chow. Visit Keto Chow online at ketochow.xyz. That's ketochow.xyz.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Here for you every single day. It's amazing that 20% of health, this is my own little breakdown, but I really believe 20% of health is knowing what to do. So it's all the stuff we talk about. Now you see docs, we're in health media, television, radio, and we're teaching you every day. And I love it. It's fun. I love what I do. But I really think it comes down to about 20% of knowing what to do. So all this that we're teaching, research, latest things, it's really about 20%. 80% of your success is your own behavior. It's your own ability to discipline yourself to get the results that you're looking for, to motivate yourself to want to be better, to take what we teach you and to implement it into your life and be successful with it. That is where the real success is. And so every single day, that's why we're here. We want to be here, that voice for you, that you can turn on the radio or watch us on television and really have that safe place where you can learn and you can be encouraged and hear a voice of reason that can help you go to that next level with your health and your life. That is what it's all about. It's about the daily things that we do each day that makes us successful. All right, food of the day. One of my favorites I want to talk about this hour is blueberries. Blueberries are powerful, and they're one of the best fruits out there as far as their benefits to the body. Of course, again, they get all kinds of great, you see them in just about every article now when it's on any kind of health website or any kind of news article, whatever it might be. And there's reasons for that. I mean, there's incredible polyphenols, antioxidants that support the body, really, really good for the skin. A lot of these, of course, have whole body antioxidant support, really good for cardiovascular system and great for the brain. This is what's powerful. Now, the nervous system can undergo a lot of oxidative stress, and we know for a fact that blueberries can come in and make an enormous difference. I mean, they can come in and just a cup a day is enough to create a lot of these benefits that I'm talking about. So with the cardiovascular health, we look at cholesterol, right? We want to think about, well, what about the clogging of the arteries and that sort of thing? Well, the benefits are pretty amazing. HDL cholesterol and the lowering of triglycerides, pretty amazing, just from about 1 cup a day of blueberries. These are fresh, organic, or even frozen. If you want to do those, they're really good. And also helps to lower the LDL cholesterol. So the bad cholesterol can help be lowered just by getting blueberries in on a regular basis. Now, recent research has also added another factor to this, talking about nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a form of, it's been around, obviously, but we've learned a lot more about it. And increased activity is usually associated with better balance in the cardiovascular function. And the blueberries actually help to relieve that, because what happens is if you increase the nitric oxide, you can lower blood pressure in the body, and it really does help the systolic levels. That's the top number. The cognitive benefits, too, are pretty amazing. So when you look at dementia and Alzheimer's, they've done studies on this with blueberries, and just the components in them are very, very powerful. So with blueberries consumed on a regular basis, people have helped decrease, and this is done in animal studies, but there's an improvement of memory, and there's a reduction of cognitive decline. So that's the indicator that we look at for dementia and Alzheimer's. When there's such a strengthening of the memory and the mind, there's such a reduction of what goes on with our cognition. So again, preserves our mind, keeps our memory strong, and helps us kind of move into that next level. Blood sugar benefits, that's another one. So type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and insulin resistance is really hot right now. And hot meaning that a lot of people have it. It's amazing, but we know that the blueberries can help regulate a lot of the blood sugar levels and help to balance a lot of that out. So with type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, a cup of berries a day can help. And I always say in a smoothie in the morning, this is the staple breakfast of what I do myself and what I teach a lot of our folks that we coach all around the country. Is I like to do a smoothie in the morning first thing. First, you've been sleeping, right? So you've been fasting. The body has not had any nutrition for 7 to 8 hours. You wake up, cortisol levels are high, which is eating up muscle tissue and storing body fat. That's not a good thing. So to take the time to go in and cook a bunch of eggs takes you another 15 minutes maybe to get breakfast ready. Now you're up and walking around on an empty stomach, which the cortisol is high, and you're doing negative things to your body. One of the better ways to go is to get nutrition instantly in your body that it can utilize. That's why I like smoothies or shakes. Shakes are one of my favorites. You can do a base of an almond milk unsweetened or coconut milk unsweetened. Water is great too. Get an organic meal replacement powder that has all the vitamins and minerals in it, like Daily Meal Complete. You can see that at our website. But it's wonderful. You put that in. You put a cup of fresh blueberries in, maybe some kale, blend that together, a couple scoops of almond butter, and some ice. It's amazing. And it gets in your system immediately, and then you can move on with your day. So people that are busy and they don't have a lot of time, I hear that all the time. You do have time. You just have to come up with creative ways to get the nutrition in your body. It's not tough. Also with blueberries, really, really powerful are eye health. And this is fantastic. This is why they're so beneficial as just a fruit. I mean, it really is a superfood and a super fruit. But for the eye health, it's very unique because of what it does. It protects the retina and also helps against glaucoma. Anti-cancer benefits are across the board, not just in one area. They said the types of cancer that they've studied, though, that they know about for sure would be breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, esophageal cancer, and any cancers of the small intestine. So the benefits are pretty amazing. To get a cup of blueberries in, if you can, whether you travel or you're at home, the frozen ones are great. It's just an easy way to keep everything packed in and work together. But that's a great tip, just to be able to help. That's our food of the day, just to give you a little tip on what you're doing. It's powerful. Remember, food can bring health to the body or take health out of the body. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Give us a call or go to the website. Let's go to Tara on the phones. Hi, Tara.
I'm interested in knowing about decaf green tea. What you recommend, because I have a problem with my bowels. I can't think of the condition. It's not irritable bowel, but things have a tendency to go straight through me. Okay.
Well, when it comes to that, first of all, with digestion, you want to get everything as balanced as possible. And with a situation like yours with IBS, then there's irritation, but it's come from a lot of food allergies typically. The inability for the body to break down the foods can be definitely be corrected in a lot of ways. You've got to get the gut healthy, get the right kind of bacteria in place. That is first and foremost. So getting the right nutrition in. and getting the gut bacteria right. So what I mean by that, probiotics are good as a supplement. You can use those, but also you can get the fermented vegetables are wonderful. Kimchi, a lot of those are great. And then also you want to make sure you're getting fermented dairy products. I like raw dairy. Kefir is really good. Yogurt is fantastic. And building that gut health makes a tremendous difference. And a lot of people say that, and I say that in the scientific community, we have the alternative world and the traditional medical world. So in the alternative world, there's a term called leaky gut. And leaky gut means that you're not absorbing and that you're not utilizing, and that there's toxic release within the digestive tract that can cause a lot of challenges. So that's what you have to really look at. Is the body getting everything that it needs? Are you putting in everything in that it needs? With IBS, are you eating a lot of wheat products, bread, pasta, cereal, crackers? Gluten is a real irritant and a strong deterrent to the gut, so you want to be really careful with that. And then also, you want to look at some of the traditional dairy products may irritate it, so you can switch over to goat's milk dairy. Even coconut milk-based dairy is very good. So a lot of different options to get you where you need to go. But I'll tell you this, your eating habits definitely matter. It's not a pill or a supplement or anything like that that's really going to give you the best relief. It's more of your day-to-day eating habits. And hopefully you've got someone to work with, whether it's a physician or a nutritionist, that can guide you in that, because it really does take some day-to-day work to get the help you need. Because IBS, of course, can be cleared. You can use L-glutamine, you can use aloe. There's a lot of things, but that is in adjunct to a great diet. That great diet has to happen first before anything else is going to transition. All right, so that's our key for this. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Check us out on the web. Remember, whatever you're struggling with, it's amazing. If the body can get sick, it can also get well. And if you haven't seen our app, it's at the App Store. You can go there and check out the show from the day before. Listen absolutely free on your iPhone or iPad and catch the show. Maybe you're in an area where the signal doesn't come in very well on the radio. Well, check it out on your phone. You can always join us that way as well. Our new In Shape program is out too. Check that out at the website. So if you want to lose weight, feel better, and learn how to be healthy, In Shape will get you there. It's time to get in shape. America, that's what I always say. It's powerful. So great tool to be able to help you and encourage you along the way. It's about our lifestyle choices that we make each and every day. Janet in Berkeley, California. I just tested positive for hepatitis B. Now I'm scared and I really don't know what to do. Well, it is a challenge. You do need to be concerned about your liver. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you've got some good guidance with your physician. And don't let it scare you, but just be concerned enough to make good choices. It's all about keeping the liver healthy, eating the right kind of foods, building up your immune system. All of that can make a tremendous difference. And I would focus on that more than just about anything else. And again, vitamin D is really good, builds up your immune system, helps the liver. Milk thistle, some great tools out there, research behind that. All of that can be extremely beneficial and help you along the way. So just keep us posted, because at the end of the day, remember, we're here for you. Coming up, we'll jump in more questions about your health. Don't go anywhere. 888-283-7272. Did you know that you can listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Triple-8 283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. What are you dealing with tonight? What is your health challenge? Well, whatever it is, great or small, we're here to help. Call 888-283-7272 and let's talk about it. If it's not for you, maybe it's for a friend or family member that's going through a tough time. We could talk about that too. Nothing greater than helping somebody with the most important thing to them. You ever notice when you talk to somebody and say, "How you doing?" what's going on? And they'd say, first thing they want to tell you about is either what's going on with their money or they're not going to tell you the truth and they'll just say, fine, everything's great. Or they'll tell you about something going on with their health. Just got diagnosed with this. Hip's been hurting, had some high blood pressure, blood sugar's going crazy. They like to tell you those things. And if you have these little things in your pocket that we could talk about, you can encourage them or tell them to listen to the show or whatever it might be. But you'll have some answers. And there's nothing better than being a health advocate or a friend to somebody when they're going through a tough time. You can also sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook there. Great things to do as we encourage you with your health and your life. Let's kick it off and go with Renee. Hi, Renee. Welcome, darling. How can I help?
Hi. How are you today?
I'm living well. What's up?
That's good. I'm calling in reference to Accutane or isotretinoin.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. I have actually I'm doing it for a second round, and I was actually wondering if there's anything else that you could take for acne that would kind of help clear it up other than taking something like that.
Yeah, Accutane's really, I mean, it's a very, very challenging drug. It works. Don't get me wrong, it works. Clears up the pores, and it'll pull do you have cystic acne?
Yes, where I'll get the bumps, and then like if there's a hair that grows up in there, and it gets all white and puffy and stuff, and yeah.
Right. It's really hard on your system. It's hard on your liver. It's because it's so much vitamin A that's in there. Do you tell me what is your age first of all, Renee?
In my 40s.
You're in your 40s. And did it just come on in recent years, or have you been dealing with it for a while?
Oh gosh, forever.
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 Two things, and you'll hear me say this a lot, but on this show, I talk a lot about the digestion of the body and the digestive tract. Whenever you deal with a skin issue, whether it's acne or psoriasis or dermatitis or eczema, anything in those categories, it's always from the inside out. Skin conditions rarely are from the outside in. So it's an inside-out thing, not an outside-in thing.
And that's what sounds like it's something on the inside of me that's doing that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's why when you do the cleansing pads and the creams and the lotions and the cleansers, and none of that works except you just get a bunch of dry skin after that, and you're wondering what's the deal. Well, the deal is it's coming from your digestion. And you clear that up first, and then everything else starts to clear itself up.
Oh,
and we've seen this so many times with patients. Young people, teenagers go through this all the time. And there can be some hormone involvement, but it's very rare. It's very rare. It mostly comes from the digestion. So you want to eliminate anything with flour in it. So bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, all that. Now, that sounds radical.
I eat it, but I don't eat a lot of it.
Okay.
So is it just...
And no milk. No milk of any kind. No dairy of any kind. Cheese, yogurt, milk, nothing. So you come off of both those. Wow, see? Wow. That means you eat some of that. Right. So one of those two things are always the culprit when you're dealing with skin. Always. And the amazing thing you're going to find is when you come off, it's that simple. You're going to think it can't be that easy. But you come off of both of those items, and you're going to see your skin clear up.
Okay,
there's other things that you want to do. Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. No bread of any kind, not if it's a whole grain bread or wheat bread or anything like that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's only 4 grains that do not have gluten in it. Gluten's the protein that stimulates a lot of the inflammation in the digestion. Rice flour, hemp flour, coconut flour, and buckwheat flour. But even still, right now, because you've eaten grains over a regular period of time, it takes about 7 to 8 weeks for your body to clear out what's been in there. So I would recommend that for about 8 weeks you don't do any kind of grains whatsoever and come off the cow's milk dairy. Okay? The other things you'll want to do, I would encourage you to follow the diet that I have in my book, Empowering Your Health, and you can pick it up anywhere. But I would encourage you to follow those principles in there, because when you're dealing with acne or any other health challenge, it's really, really important to be putting the right kind of foods in your body. Foods are best medicine, and it's best to put the right kind of foods in so you get the right kind of health out. Skin conditions, remember, you've got to have the good, healthy fats. So cod liver oil, the omega-3s, you want to do at least a tablespoon of that twice a day for about 8 weeks. And then the vitamin D is really good. Get a blood test done with your primary care physician and let them tell you the numbers of the blood for the vitamin D test. And typically it's going to run with most people, if they don't ever get it checked and don't really take a lot of vitamin D, you're going to be surprised at how low it is. It might be around 20 or 30, and that's pretty low. That's the low end of the scale, and you want to have it up around 70 on that blood test. It's good for bone density, good for hormones, and good for overall digestive health. So those are a couple things that you can do to get started, but literally you're going to see a big, big change just in making those changes. And I know it sounds like a lot.
Dairy, I can't drink any type of, like, I know that, like soy or anything like that.
No, don't touch soy milk at all, because soy milk will raise your estrogen levels and throw off your progesterone levels. Now you're dealing with a hormone issue.
Oh.
Okay, you're going to throw that off. So if you're wanting milk, you can do goat's milk, but that's it. You can't do cow's milk. The reason being, goat's milk is the closest molecular structure we have to human mother's milk. So that's a good thing. That's why it's very anti-allergenic, or hypoallergenic, as they would say. It's just a better version. Cow's milk's very hard for us to digest, and the way they homogenize it and pasteurize it makes it very difficult. And most people, about 95% of the population in America, rather, are intolerant to milk. So it's just one of the great things you can do with when you're dealing with skin conditions. Quote for the day, Muhammad Ali: champions aren't made in the gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them: a desire, a dream, and a vision. Great quote by one of the greatest champions of all time.
Puts another hour in the charts. I'd like to thank our producer, Jay Patrick, Leslie Pardue, and the rest of the team. Go tell one person something you learned on this show, and together we can change the health of our friends, our families, and our communities.
Listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora. For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the AsaRx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.
Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. It's a new prescription for a new you, America. Let's go to Terry. Hi, Terry. Welcome to the show. How can I help?
How are you tonight?
Living well. What's up?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I would hear the very end of your health minute every time I turned the radio on, and it was about warts. And I have a daughter who has a couple that are underneath her fingernails, and she's had these since she was a teenager. And the doctors never wanted to do anything because they didn't want to, mess up her nail bed. I'm just wondering if there's anything that she could take to help with those.
Well, the standard is salicylic acid. It kind of burns off the wart, kills the virus, because that's what a wart is. It's a viral infection. And that can work externally, but there's still internally some things that need to happen. You can use ionic silver. What is her age?
She's 23.
Oh, okay. She's an adult. I gotcha. Yeah, she can handle about 20 drops of ionic silver 2 to 3 times per day. And I would use wormwood tincture. Wormwood works very well. Use it 21 days on and about 7 days off. It works very well. It tastes terrible, but it works well. And I would use those two. And then, of course, on the external part, you put the salicylic acid in it. You put it over it about 3 times a day. It's the standard stuff you get at any drugstore. And it technically will make the skin go dead, and it will burn out or they call it burning out, but it really just kills the virus around that. But you got to handle it internally. If not, that's why the wart keeps coming back and you can't get rid of it. So
right. How much of the wormwood tincture will she use?
She can handle about 20 drops twice a day on an empty stomach. Will be fine.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Let me throw one more kink in this. She is nursing.
Throw me the kink.
Is that a problem?
She's nursing right now?
Yes, she's nursing a baby, so is that going to be a problem?
Yeah, it throws a big kink in it. Can't do the wormwood.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
No, what she needs to do is she needs to just deal with the warts till she's done nursing. Mm-hmm. And once she's done nursing, that's when you need to do it. Because, the wart's not life-threatening. It just bothers her.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do the salicylic acid on the outside of the skin. That's not going to mess up anything. But I would not do anything on the internal side. The one thing she can do is she can do oregano oil. Now, it's good with antiviral, antibacterial, and anti-yeast, and it's not really going to affect her as far as the breast milk goes or anything like that and affect the baby. So you can do a tablespoon of that a day and a tablespoon of cod liver oil. Those will actually both be beneficial for the baby. So I would do that, get started, and let me know how things go. But wait on the wormwood and the silver until after she's done nursing. Thanks so much for the call. 888-283-7272. Let's go to, I think it's Charlotte T. Is that right? Charlotte. He just spelled it wrong. Welcome, Charlotte.
I'm having a lot of trouble with my sugar.
Okay.
I've been on prednisone, and I've had to go to the hospital lots of times and to get it lowered. I'm on insulin at home, 40 units.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that I can do to bring my sugar down on my own?
There's a lot you can do to bring your sugar down on your own. Now, Charlotte, have they talked to you, or have you changed anything with your diet and what you eat every single day?
No.
All right. Let me tell you this. Food is your best medicine. It is the one thing that will change you more than anything else. Now, the insulin is keeping you stabilized, but it's not going to get you well. You follow me? So it's managing your health. It's not changing your health. We need to do things that are going to change your health. And what you eat is the main thing, because it is type 2 diabetes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, what you ate got you into this situation. So if you haven't made any changes and you're living the same lifestyle, eating the same things, doing the same things that you've been doing for the past 5-10 years, then you're fueling the fire. You're not making any changes that are going to get you out of where you are. So let's talk about what's going to do that. In my book, Empowering Your Health, I talk a lot about what's called an anti-inflammatory diet. It is the diet that we use clinically all the time for people that are dealing with diabetes and a host of other health challenges. So first thing you want to do is you want to change the way you eat. Every meal, so if you get your carbohydrates from fruits and vegetables alone and that's it, then you're going to be in a good spot. Then you also want to have good healthy fats, the omega-3s, 6s, and 9s like almonds, walnuts, cashews, and avocados. Every meal, you need a protein, you need a carbohydrate like a fruit or vegetable, and you need a good healthy fat. If you eat like that and keep those 3 meals a day with a couple of snacks in between, that's going to help stabilize your blood sugar levels so that your pancreas, which is the little gland or organ that secretes the insulin in your body, will begin to balance out and begin to stabilize. So are there things you can do? Absolutely, Charlotte. You start eating that way, get a copy of my book, and start following that diet, and you're going to do very well. Now, let me tell you a couple of supplements that will help too, and you can pick these up at your health food store. One of our health coaches can help you. You want to do ionic chromium, ionic vanadium, ionic manganese. Those are 3 minerals that you can do. So chromium, manganese, and vanadium. And then there's also an antioxidant called alpha lipoic acid, or ALA. All 4 of those together, you take them with each meal, and it'll help stabilize your blood sugar levels and help you. Now, the short-term victory for you is not going to be just to come off of insulin completely, but it's to see 40 units go down to 30 units. And then, pretty soon 30 units will turn into 20 units, and then it'll turn into 10 units, and then 5 units. And see, that's the victory. That's what we want to see to get your body stabilized. And that's when you're going to start to win and see your body function the way it was designed to. So there's a lot you can do. All this really lies in your hands. And just as much as you've done the wrong kind of things over the years to get your body into a place where your blood sugar levels are not where they need to be, you can make these radical changes right now and see your health improve. And see, all that lies in your hands. You can make the changes today to get better health for tomorrow. And that's what we want to see for you here on the show. So let me know how things go. Stay in touch with me. Do those basic things and watch what will happen. You're going to start going to your doctor and they're going to be like, what are you doing? What things have you changed in your life? It's going to empower them and encourage them as well as to see your health and your life change. Thanks for the call. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. You're listening to the show where your health is your greatest wealth. Let's go to Joan. Hi, Joan. Welcome to the show.
Having a problem with my doctor says I have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat.
Okay. And you want to fix it, right?
Yes.
As we say in the South.
And I want to fix it with natural medicine, no over-the-counter drugs.
I understand. Are you taking medications now?
I stopped.
You stopped?
Yeah.
Now, did your doctor tell you to stop or you stopped?
I stopped.
All right. And we need to talk about that because high blood pressure, I'm okay if you went cold turkey on the cholesterol medication, but the blood pressure medication is something that you need to really consider. So why don't we do this? We'll go into a commercial break right now, and we'll talk about, when we come out of it, we'll talk about high blood pressure, high cholesterol, ways to manage those, and using medications, but also doing it for more of the natural or preventative side of things and how to get your body working right. Because remember, cholesterol is a liver issue, but it can also affect the heart. We'll talk about ways to balance that when we come out of this commercial break. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. I'm your health and lifestyle coach, diagnosing hope one caller at a time. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
We can lifestyle our way into getting sick. We can lifestyle our way out and get well. We just have to make the kind of changes in our life. We have to make the mental shift. Then we have to decide that we want to get well, we want to stay well, and we want to live well. So it's important that we understand that. And if you do, and you can make that shift within your mind, so much can happen in your life. And it really comes down to the want to. And I'll talk about that all the time because it's true. And we have medicine, and we have all kinds of great information. We can create nutritional tips. There's all kinds of tools that we can use to help our health. But really, when it comes down to it, whether it's the latest diet fad or supplement or whatever it might be, the reality is if you're not ready, that's the one thing that when you're working with patients as a physician, you can see that. I mean, instantly, you're able to walk into a room and talk with someone, and they say that the average doctor can make a diagnosis, or not that they can make an accurate one, but they make a diagnosis in their mind, typically, in the first 18 seconds in a room. That's pretty staggering. It takes a lot of prideful intuition, I think, to be able to do that quickly, rather than listening to all the facts and to actually formulate, what's really going on with the person. And it's amazing to me that happens, but at the same time, I think more than anything, and that was quoted by Jerome Grootman, by the way. He wrote a book about hope and being a physician. And it's pretty incredible when you look at that and think, I think doctors know more than anything if a person wants to get well or not. And it really comes down to that, because if a person has an attitude that they want to get well and that they want to stay well, they want to live well, they want to thrive with their health, they don't really want to be sick. Some people find their identity in being sick. Some people can find who they are. They like the attention. It's attention they've never received before. And they get into a place where the attention actually becomes the driving force for a disease process. It becomes who they are rather than just a health challenge they're dealing with or they've been faced with. If they can come up with a new set of choices and a new set of circumstances to get them out of that health challenge. And that becomes where the victory is. It just depends on a person and their willingness to be able to move through that. And that's what it means to be able to get well, to be able to mentally get well, meaning that you have a shift in your mind. And I mean, for some people, that may mean that your medicine gets cut in half. Well, you're still on the road to getting well, because if you're taking 500 milligrams of medicine every day, and the doctor said you're going to have to take it forever, and now through your lifestyle choices and the choices that you're making now, you're able to cut the medicine down to 200 milligrams a day, and your body's functioning at a higher level, then are you winning? Yes, you are. And that's what's important. It's important to learn the fact that your body can change, but your mind is the one area that has to get well first. And that's what we want to help you do here on the show. 888-283-7272. Let's go to Joe now. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Dr.
Living well, man. What's up?
I'm having a gum problem. Real gums, anything that I can use for that?
Okay, your gums are what's going on with your gums? Have you been to the dentist, and did they tell you something?
Well, I guess it's been about 4 or 5 years I've been to the dentist.
Okay. What's going on with the gums? Are they hurting?
Well, they get a little sore sometimes.
typically if the gums are getting sore, your body's getting a little bit low in vitamin C, or it could be periodontal disease, which is where there's an infection in the gum lining right on the edges, and it can cause the gums to recede. It can cause a little red line to form around them, and it's periodontal disease is pretty common after the age of about 40 with folks if they don't go to the dentist on a regular basis. So, I mean, you don't go every 6 months and get your teeth cleaned and all that?
Oh, it's been a while since I had my teeth cleaned.
Well, I mean, has it been 5 years?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, the only thing you need to do, I would just go to your dentist. I'd make an appointment sometime in the near future, maybe the next couple of weeks, and go in and see them. And what's going to happen is they probably will, if it is periodontal disease, they'll probably treat that. Okay, and there's cleaning that they'll need to do within the office. But, the whole thing about going to your dentist every 6 months is not just a gimmick, but you've got tartar that builds up on, around the teeth, and it gets down in the gum line, and that's what can create a lot of the periodontal disease. And again, the older we get, the more susceptible we are to that disease, and it's not a good thing. Obviously, it can lead to a lot of issues. And believe it or not, having a healthy gum line and having a healthy oral cavity, mouth, is critical to our health. Matter of fact, Weston Price, who was a dentist, he actually found so much correlated with what was going on inside of our mouth throughout the rest of our body, and a lot of disease processes that can start within poor dental care, and that could lead to other areas within the body. So it's important. It really is. If you check out that information, Weston A. Price Foundation, if you want to read on how he tied all that together, pretty impressive. But yeah, I would consider go to your physician, go to your dentist here in the next couple of weeks and see what they have to say. You don't want to let that sit. It'll only get worse. Definitely not going to get better. Vitamin C would be a vitamin that can cause some of the soreness within the gum line, but I mean, this is not one of those things where I'm telling you take vitamin C and then call me in 2 weeks. I'm not even doing that at all. I'm saying go see your dentist and consider looking at some vitamin C. And ask him about it, or her, whoever you see, and you'll find out that there's probably some bacteria that's built up in there they need to treat and take care of, and they can. But beyond that, you might want to look at cleaning up your diet a little bit, entering in some vitamin C, and keeping that level up too. But it's more about getting that repetitive care with your dentist. And that's just going to keep you out of having any potential periodontal disease, which we're seeing more than more. It's because of not just poor hygiene habits, but it's also poor dietary habits that lead to that as well.
Are you ready to chow? It's time for Keto Chow. When it comes to eating healthy, the keto diet has become one of the nutrition leaders in optimizing health, losing unwanted weight, and reaching your health and wellness goals. No extravagant cooking, no long kitchen cleanup, and most importantly, especially for me, it's convenient. Just put quality Keto Chow powder in a bottle, add some heavy whipping cream or your favorite fat, a little water, and boom, shake it up and you're ready to chow. Keto Chow tastes amazing. So make Keto Chow easy for you and your family today with Keto Chow. Let's go chow. Visit Keto Chow online at ketochow.xyz. That's ketochow.xyz.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Great information to empower your health and your life, and also Facebook and Twitter. If you're not on there, you need to be. Get all behind the scenes. Also, if you have questions about your health, you can drop them on there as well. We'll do our best to answer and give you the help that you need. Vitamin D protects against age-related vision loss. ABC News reported they're warning off vision loss in old age. I love vitamin D. This is really the wonder nutrient of our time. I think vitamin C was so big back in the 50s and 60s, and this is just that new nutrient that we've discovered that everybody's deficient in, and it's like every day we're finding new things that it affects, and it comes, we get vitamin D from the sun, it hits our skin, and then is stimulated within the body. But we need it from our diet too, just because of so much of what we do is indoors, and we're just finding how much we need it. And it's just important. It's one of those things that everybody needs to be taking, really. You got to be careful. You need to have blood work done to make sure, because it is fat soluble and it can build up and get too high in the body. But the number to keep in mind is 70 to 90 on the blood test. And different physicians will have different thoughts on that because, see, the range is between 30 and 100 in this quote-unquote safe clinical range. And when you get down around 30, 40, it's still too low. You can still see things like osteopenia, osteoporosis. You still see hormone issues being there, depressed mood. A lot of those type of things still will be around when you've got those levels, even on the low side of normal. So it's better to get them up, and it's better to have them between about 70 and 90. That's where you start seeing the peak benefits of vitamin D. So warding off the vision loss in old age will have more to do with what's in your kitchen, they say, than what's in your medicine cabinet. According to the new research published Monday, women who consume high levels of vitamin D through fish, dairy, eggs, and leafy greens could lower the risk of macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss later in life. You can cut it by 59%. In Monday's study, women who consume the most vitamin D cut the risk of developing early AMD by more than half when compared to women with vitamin D poor diets. Researchers found that risk is lowest when the patients consumed about 720 international units of vitamin D3 per day through foods such as cold water fish, leafy greens, and dairy. And I just want to note with that 720 units is not a lot. It's bare minimum. I mean, you can handle up to, most adults typically need around 5,000 units per day. Kids need and can handle about 1,000 units per day. So work with your doctor on it, check the labels, because different brands, they have different absorption rates. I personally am a big fan. You want D3, but you want it from a very strong company that you know and you can trust. They make a liquid bioidentical vitamin D, and I'm a real big fan of that. It absorbs very well. It's utilized well, and it comes in liquid, so it's easier to dose out for children and for adults. And it's just a lot better. You can mix it with because it is an oil-based vitamin, a fat-soluble vitamin. It's better to mix that with, say, cod liver oil, because if you don't want to just take it with water. It'll cut down the absorption rate. Why? Because water and oil don't mix, and it does cut down on the absorption. Daniel in Largo, Florida, he writes, I'm recently divorced and currently in the process of starting over. Sorry, Daniel. I know that's a tough part of life. I'm under a lot of stress. Is there any certain diet I should be following? Well, if you're under a lot of emotional stress, there's several things that you need to do and that you need to consider. One is dietary changes, whether you're in stress, out of stress, life is great, life is a little bit tough. Whatever you're going through, diet is the key. And it's important to follow an anti-inflammatory diet regardless, to cut down on inflammatory foods as much as possible, and balancing everything out. Equal amounts of lean protein sources like chicken, fish, beef, or eggs, low glycemic carbohydrates in the form of fruits and vegetables, and the good healthy fats, the omega-3s, 6s, and 9s, almonds, walnuts, cashews. So getting that, I mean, those are all in my book, and the anti-inflammatory diet is in there. And it's important to follow a good regimen, a steady regimen of those sorts of foods and getting a good foundation. But if you've just been divorced and you don't have the propensity to be depressed, you just feel stressed about it. Life is changing and it's a tough thing to go through. It's really good. Obviously, I would talk with a physician, make sure that you don't need any antidepressants just to get through a tough time. And you might, I hope you're going to counseling of some kind. It's important, no matter how tough you think you are, to go through a time like that. It's still good to see someone and to talk with someone about it, because it's just good to get it out, and you can work through some really good items. Remember, the mental side of our health drives so much within our health that it's important to make sure that that's taken care of. But serotonin and dopamine are your two neurotransmitters that are vital in this, and keeping those levels up because of the way you feel and outside forces that can kind of force those down. Keeping those balanced out and keeping those strong is going to keep you strong mentally and keep your health where it needs to be. So let's talk about a couple of things that can be helpful in that regard. Serotonin and these are two brain chemicals, neurotransmitters, big fancy word. But the dopamine is kind of our feel-good chemical. Serotonin is too, but serotonin, when it gets low, dopamine gets low, we get a little irritable as men. And when serotonin gets low, we just get bummed out and we lose our energy, vitality, just don't feel like doing much. Life gets a little tough. And so let me give you or paint a picture for you a little on what can be done. Now, with serotonin, certain foods can be helpful for that. And that's chicken, fish, salmon, spinach, beans, and turkey. All of those can be beneficial for raising serotonin levels from a food perspective. And then you've got to look at things like certain supplements. 5-HTP, very good for balancing and stabilizing serotonin. Usually use that before you go to bed. And it goes through the process of working with melatonin to make the serotonin. So it's a little couple-step process that does that. Tryptophan is involved, and it's been documented to be a very good supplement. So that's something that's important. Then also vitamin B6, pyridoxal 5-phosphate, is a version of B6 that works, and niacinamide, a version of B3. All those have been shown to help stabilize and create serotonin or more serotonin within the brain. Let's go to Juanita. Hi, Juanita. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
Sure,
I've
darling.
heard a lot about you, and I've been listening to you because of my son.
Well, great.
I'm a 60-year-old single grandmother, and I'm raising grandsons, very active. The youngest one is 10.
Wow.
I have artificial hips. I've had back surgery. I've had heart attacks. I have asthma. My thyroid doesn't work. I take medicine for that. And what I need to do is lose weight so I won't be so tired and I can keep up with these little munchkins of mine.
It's keeping you young, Juanita.
They have my life totally changed, and I think I'm living longer because of them. But it's kind of wearing me down. My knees are wore out, my elbows are wore out, and I was wore out before they came along.
So you need a game plan to keep Grandma from falling apart here in the middle
yes.
of it all. Okay. All right, so if everything's hurting, let's talk a little bit about, because inflammation in the body is always a starting point, making sure that we get inflammation down, that we get a good stable environment. That's going to be the key. So talk to me about your diet. Give me a little clue with what you eat on a typical basis, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I usually, we have chickens. We raise chickens, so I eat eggs. And for breakfast, I love tuna fish sandwiches. I eat a lot of tuna. I eat lots of, I eat 5 meals a day because of their boys. And I figure even if we eat less, we eat more often. I just eat anything practically because usually I'm on the run with them. They both have autism. So they...
I can hear the chickens. I can hear the roosters out there now.
Yes, we have roosters and goats. And like I say, I keep busy, but yet I keep gaining this weight. And I have high cholesterol, and my triglycerides are off. And I've asked the doctor about how to lose some weight because I'm about 60 pounds overweight. And they just keep telling me, try.
Try.
And I need it. My son has registered me into a gym, which we just did that a week ago. So, but you have to travel across town to get to it.
I feel like this is the Green Acres version of our show here today. I can hear roosters in the background, goats walking around. This is great, which actually kind of is exciting because what a great way to live. My goodness. Do you drink goat's milk? Do you milk the goats and all that?
Well, we haven't lately. In fact, I love goat's milk more than anything, but we don't do that yet. They're mostly pets. Like I say, my grandchildren have autism, and I try to keep them busy, tending to animals and give them some responsibility. And it's a lot of work for me, and the more work I do, it seems like the more I eat.
Yeah, I understand. Wow, that's great, though. You're being such a great example for those kids. And with autism, which is a challenge within itself, they're very blessed to have you. Let's get into a game plan for you when we come back.
Did you know that you can listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Juanita, really a just unique individual, and I say that because being a grandmother and now taking care of her grandkids on a farm, they have autism, and so you're doing everything you can to keep yourself together and body functioning at a high level, and yet being there for them, having the energy, having the vitality to keep up with them, and really to play mom now, even though you're grandma, and which is a task within itself, but I think, and like you said, it keeps you young, but your body needs to be able to keep up as well. And probably from the stress, you were saying you eat a little bit more than normal and probably hanging out with the boys a little bit more too. And so how much weight do you think is excess on you that you need to drop?
60 pounds.
Okay. So you know that for sure. Now,
Yeah.
being out on the farm and whatnot, are you in a place where you can get into town where maybe you could get with like a personal trainer at a gym, like a YMCA?
Well, my son registered me for a gym. It's across town, and I can get to him. But I was thinking more like, what should I do to, as far as eating? And I don't know what a gym person does.
Well, yeah, no, I'm going to explain all that to you. I just want to make sure that that's available. I mean, is it like an hour drive, 30-minute drive?
It's about a 30-minute.
One way.
One way.
All right. Then here's the deal. 3 days a week. And I'm telling you this because it's big picture. 3 days a week, it's going to be important. It was me. If I would 3 days a week go to that gym and set up time with a trainer. And I would do that, don't do them back to back. Do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or however you want to orchestrate your days is fine. But you want to get with a trainer, and you only need to do it for about a month. And you go there and you work out with a trainer for about a month. Keep a journal, so write everything down of the exercises and the way that they put that together for you. Write everything down, every workout. Okay. And then you can use that workout for about 6 months, 3 to 6 months. And you can just kind of modify it a little bit, use it, repeat it, change the weights up on it, and then in about 6 months or so, go for another month with a trainer. Maybe pick a different trainer, and you'll get different workouts. Write those down, and you can use them. That way you're not spending a lot of money. You'll spend $20, $25 per training session, but it's worth it. And then you'll have somebody there for accountability. You'll have someone to teach you how to do it properly. You won't be wasting your time. And you'll get great benefit from it. You'll learn how to do those kind of things because it is important. Because first of all, you're committed, you're driving, and you need the weight training, being that you're 60, because you need to have the weight-bearing exercise. You need to build the lean muscle mass. And that's why, I would just tell you, just go to the farm, go down and move some bales of hay and walk around the farm. But that's not going to help you really reach your total goal. It's not. You need to go somewhere if you have the availability. And I didn't know if you were 2 hours away from a gym or a civic or community center or whatever. So the fact that you're pretty close, that's good. That's doable. That's not unrealistic. So that's something to work out, however you work your schedule out. Now, eating wise, a copy of my book would be important for you. And I would get a copy of that. There's a diet in there called the anti-inflammatory diet. If you want to eat well, that diet will lead you down the right path. It creates and puts together foods that will bring health to the body, not take it away. And so eating those kind of foods are very, very important, such as lean quality proteins, chicken, fish, beef, eggs, and the low glycemic carbohydrates in the form of fruits and vegetables, which you probably have a lot of there on the farm. But you want to stay away from grains, okay, the grain-based food. And you can do gluten-free later on, but right now it's steer clear of all the grain-based or flour-based foods, bread, pasta, cereal, crackers. Those kind of foods they stimulate a lot of insulin, but they have a protein in them called gluten. And gluten is a real challenge because it creates a lot of inflammation in the gut, and it can create instabilities with neurotransmitters or brain chemicals, causing some challenges within the body and the brain. So by eliminating those, it's going to help you regulate your hormone system, regulate your metabolism, and then, of course, your body will start dropping weight. Typically when somebody is going through, whether they've been eating the wrong kind of foods for a long period of time or overeating, they start following the anti-inflammatory diet. The average weight loss is about 28 pounds in about 8 to 12 weeks. Everybody's different, but that's typical. You'll find a real strong amount of weight loss. Now, for somebody that's already thin, they're not obviously going to lose that kind of weight, but it's all dependent on the body and where it is, how much inflammation it has, and kind of how much it needs to drop. The body has what it's called its own set point, and a set point is just it's really an area that the body kind of seeks to get into its own place. And so just understanding that is really important. So coming up with the right habits is what's going to be important. And on my website, you'll see there's certain health prescriptions. I call them the 7 health prescriptions. You can find those there, and they are certain keys that will get you into a really good place with your health. And I'm just excited for you. I'm excited that you're in a place where you're helping take care of those kids, that they have a grandmother like you that's willing to step up and say, you know what, you have autism. I'm so proud of you. I'm here to take care of you. And you're just going to make it happen for those kids. I think it's amazing. And it's being a remarkable person to do that. So I'm glad you've reached out to take care of you, because by taking care of you, to be energetic and vital and have everything you need, you're taking care of them. And it's a very selfless thing to do. Puts another hour in the charts. I'd like to thank our producer, Jay Patrick, Leslie Pardue, and the rest of the team. I'm your health and lifestyle coach. Go tell one person something you learned on this show, and together we can change the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the best in healthy talk radio, where we're diagnosing hope one person at a time.
Did you know you could listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the AsaRx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.